Well, hey guys, um, I've got this plastic lawnmower cover, and I don't know if you can tell, but it was cracked, and I thought I'd break out the old plastic welding kit. I bought this quite a long time ago, and I've used it a few times on some like expensive car parts, plastic car parts, and repaired them. And one of the pieces I repaired was an intake boot on a Volkswagen Jetta. Um, it I don't know how it happened. I think the pressure of the turbo pops this boot off, and it's a pretty common problem. I've repaired two of them so far, but it pops this boot off. It goes into the belt, and it just rubs a hole in it, and then your car dies because it doesn't have any boost anymore. So anyway, it was like $70 or $80 at a junkyard to replace the boot. So I told the kid that I could fix it for him, and worked out kind of good. Um, the repair was perfect, and like 2 weeks later, his girlfriend's car did the exact same thing. So I fixed two of them for him. But anyway, yeah, it's just a kit I bought on eBay. I don't see any kits like this around online anymore, but they have other ones. And to tell you the truth, you can do all this stuff with soldering iron, and you can buy these rods. This is some special. It's kind of universal sticks of plastic that are reinforced, fiber reinforced, and they pretty much stick to anything. They work really good. I really like those. But it also comes with a bunch of different rod for, like this is nylon and polyurethane. Haven't used those yet. Polypropylene. Um, I'm using that now. This cover. If you look at it at your part, um, I don't know if you can see that, but it says PP, and that's polypropylene. Most plastic parts do at least say what they are, or they can give you some hint. I would have probably guessed this is something like ABS or something, but it's polypropylene. And yeah, it had the crack, and I've started fixing it already, but I thought it might be interesting to people to see that you can repair this stuff ordinarily. On most stuff, I would say, just super glue it back together and call it a day. But I thought this would be kind of interesting to maybe some folks. Um, so let me set you down here and show you how I do this. Now the crack continues on. It stops right about there. And I've got in this kit, it comes with this wire mesh. You can probably buy this at any hardware store. It's not a big deal. It's just stainless steel wire mesh, like screen door. It's like screen door, screen window material, but it's thicker. So it's pretty stiff. Um, what I do, this is an offcut, a piece I didn't use before, so I just trimmed it down to fit what I'm doing. And what you're basically doing is putting it over the crack, right? And you use your soldering iron, or in this case, it's came with the kit. You put it down over the crack, and you hold the tip down, and you melt it. And what you're doing is you're kind of melting it down into the plastic. You're pushing it down into the plastic. Let me see if it's hot enough yet. Yeah, it's working. Anyway, you'll see it kind of disappear into the plastic. See there? And that's the secret to welding plastic parts back together. You're embedding a piece of steel into the middle of the crack, down in. It's like adding rebar to a concrete foundation after it's been poured, basically. So you get in a couple different spots, and you get it tacked in there, and then you can go in and really sink it down in. You want the whole thing down into the plastic, and you can embed it in there, and then let one let one area cool. You know, and you can see on this side it's already starting to cool. And once you get it all, you know, you can go, once it cools, you can go back through and smooth it out. This is a pretty thin part. That's why I took some of the polypropylene rod, the black polypropylene rod, and I reinforced it a little bit because I don't really have a lot of extra plastic to work with. If this was a thick part, like the thickness of a 5-gallon bucket or something, I probably wouldn't worry about it. There's plenty of plastic to work with. But I'm just melting this wire mesh down in. You see it pretty much disappears, and you can get in here and really clean it up good. It is smoky. That's probably the only downside of doing this. Here, I'll show you the rod. This is polypropylene rod. This is really hard to hold and do at the same time. But anyway, I'm just going to take and melt some of that down. And it'll start to just thicken the patched area, you know, the reinforced area. Let's see. And you'll notice once it starts to cool is when you can go back and like really rework it and smooth the stuff out. It's really easy to do, but a little fiddly. Like I'm gonna take and melt a little more of this in there. If I can hold both parts. I hope you can see that. I have no idea. So anyway, I'll just start melting a little bit more of that over the, I can still see where the wire mesh is a little bit, where it didn't totally get embedded, but it's just a demonstration anyway, so who cares. You'll see I'm just kind of adding a little bit of extra plastic to that, reinforcing that repair. There we go. Okay. And like I say, any soldering iron will really work. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, that's all this is. It's a glorified soldering iron. And now that I'm done with that, I'm not going to worry. This is on the inside of the part, so I'm not even going to worry about, you know, making it look real pretty and smooth. And I'm not even going to do the outside. I'm just going to leave it like it is and call it a repair. Let me see if I have here's a rag. I don't know what's on the rag. It might smoke a lot too. But now while it's hot, clean the plastic off. And it comes with the kit. This kit comes with a wire brush. And so while it's still really hot, I like to clean all that plastic off. Stops it from being a problem next time I want to use the kit. So let me shut this off. It's got a little kickstand thing, but I've got the camera sitting on it right now, so I'll just hold the part. But anyway, now it's all cooled down, and you can see the wire mesh is totally embedded in there. I can't feel it anywhere. It's a little rough. I could get in there and really smooth it out nice if it's a big deal, but this is no big deal. This is just a cracked lawnmower part. So, but it is very strong. It's back to usable, and it should be stronger actually than the original part because you got a piece of steel in there, embedded in there. But I thought that would be kind of interesting to show you guys. Plastic welding kit. Yeah, nowadays the only ones I've seen are it's like a heat gun with a tip for a soldering iron on it, kind of deal. There's a couple different tips. This one's kind of, it works, but the way it's made is you're supposed to feed the plastic down through there, and you can just be going along pushing the plastic in. It kind of I thought it was messy, but I just think doing it this way by just melting the plastic down, just by setting the tip on it, works fine. But yeah, so there you go. Kind of a interesting little gadget. Comes with this kit comes with all kinds of different rods for different kinds of plastics you might run into. What is this? TPO, whatever that is. Kind of a weird feeling plastic, but and I think this one's ABS. Yeah, ABS plastic. And I think that's all. I think that's all I got down in there. I don't know what that is. But anyway, if you're interested in this or think it could be useful for you, I'd just go on eBay and look up probably plastic welding kit, and what you'll find is a bunch of rods like this will come up. I think you'll see a pile of these flat looking fiber reinforced rods. These work really well for most anything, and I wouldn't even bother buying all the rest of this stuff except the wire mesh. You can get the wire mesh online, and you get a bunch of these online like eBay, and you'll be able to fix almost anything with just a soldering iron and these two things, and it'll get you started anyway. Yeah, alright, you take care.